With almost 500,000 customers and over $1 trillion of secure payments, Bill isn't new to intelligent finance. It's the proven way to simplify bill pay and maximize cash flow. Want to learn more? Visit Bill.com/proven for a special offer.
If you could give a crab eyes, give them a fucking asshole.
Eavesdroppin.
Well, hello, Michelle. Oh,
Well, looky at you.
looky there.
Look, you're looking like a spring princess.
Why are you saying look when no one can look? Only you can look, Michelle.
Doesn't
We're
matter.
a podcast.
I don't
They
care.
can't see us.
All these podcasters are now doing the video of the podcast.
Who wants to watch them? Who wants to watch that?
People do, I'm telling you. And I'm terrified by that because as you can see, no one else, but as you can see, I'm back in the robe today. Haven't even put a brush through this hair. Nobody needs to see that. No one.
That's why podcasting is the perfect job for us. Now, I'm trying to make out what that robe is actually made of. Is it terry toweling? It doesn't look like it. It looks like one of those fake chenilles.
It is a chenille. It's a chenille.
It's chenille.
I bought actually waffle weave for Andreas, a waffle weave cotton robe with a terry toweling collar and a monogram.
Oh, multi-texture. That's a lot.
It is, but it looks
No.
good. And I
Too much for one robe, I'm
no,
afraid.
it looks lovely. It's very high-end eleganza. I had a name monogrammed onto it, but in white. So it's very subtle.
Okay. Is it still white?
Yes, it is. He's very good. This one is, I actually think, Primark Special Chenille. So that's what we have here. I don't spend the money on myself.
You don't, do you?
No.
Michelle, we need to introduce ourselves.
Oh, my God, we do. I'm Michelle.
In case you didn't realise, and
Yes.
I'm Geordie. And you are eavesdroppers. Well done.
Well done, because you are listening to Eavesdroppin, the comedy podcast.
We welcome it.
I'm your host. You are the co-host with the most. Here we are.
Oh, I'm the co-host and you're the host. Is that what happens? Are you the boss?
But if you introduced yourself, you would be the host and I would be the co-host.
I thought we were both co-hosts. Thought we were equal.
No, it is.
I'm your co-host, Michelle.
But it is, unless
We are co-hosting you. We are co-hosting this party today.
we are. But if you say it first, aren't you then the host?
I guess we need a language expert to write in. I'll take it. Maybe you could write in and let us know.
If you said, hi, I'm your host and this is Michelle, my co-host, is that not language? I
Okay.
don't know.
I'm thinking now about parties. Do you remember when you had a birthday that was a little bit too close to your friend?
Or your sister.
And you had to have a double party.
Yes.
Or your sister.
Yes.
And what was it called? A double party? It's not called that, is it?
Oh, what was it? We had, I don't know.
What's it called?
It was called annoying because neither of us wanted it. You know, we wanted our own parties.
Everybody wanted that doll cake for themselves.
I know, but Jen had two girls that had birthdays 2 weeks apart. What was she going to do?
She should have thought about that when she was doing her family planning, perhaps. Looked at the calendar.
There was no family planning. My sister and I are 12 months apart. You do the math.
Irish twins.
Irish twins, yes. So we were always having to have birthday parties together. And of course, we had some crossover friends, but not really. We had our own separate and distinct groups.
So was there punch-ups at these parties?
No,
Scrags? People grabbing hair and smashing faces into cakes?
of course, always. No, there were fights over who gets the fairy bread.
Honey joys and saveloys, hands off the fairy bread, you naughty boys.
The longer you stay alive, the longer you can enjoy Boost Mobile's unlimited plan with a price that never goes up. So here are some tips. Do not parallel park on a cliff if you want to enjoy an unlimited plan with a price that never goes up. Do not mistake a wasp nest for a piñata if you want to enjoy an unlimited plan with a price that never goes up. Do not microwave a hard-boiled egg if you want to enjoy an unlimited plan with the price that never goes up. Stay alive and enjoy unlimited wireless for $25 a month forever with Boost Mobile. After 30 gigs, customers may experience lower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
When it comes to managing money, forget the hype and look at the results. Bill has $1 trillion of secure payments powering our bill pay tools. Instead of just moving money, Bill is powering the financial operations of nearly 500,000 customers. So stop the guesswork and start scaling with the proven choice. Ready to talk with an expert? Visit Bill.com/proven to get started. And grab a $250 gift card as a thank you. Terms and conditions apply. See offer page for details.
Wasn't there enough fairy bread?
Oh, there's never enough fairy bread. But do you know what? I will
It's
say
the cheapest thing to make.
it is.
Maybe we should do a recipe online for the fairy bread over on Patreon.
Maybe.
Along with your browned butter.
For anyone who doesn't know what fairy bread is. Well, actually, I don't know that I can get the ingredients here. I'll have to have a look because even though the classic is with hundreds and thousands sprinkle,
Yes.
it was not my favourite.
What did you have?
I liked
the chocolate strands.
I liked the strands. I liked the multicolour strands.
What were they called? Millions?
Were they called millions?
I don't know.
Did you just make that up because the other ones were hundreds and thousands?
I reached into my brain and pulled that
Millions.
out. I'm sorry.
I don't know what they were called, but the strands, yes, they were my favourite. And
Yeah, the little short strands
and-
of sugar.
yes,
Brown.
Oh, God, now I'm
They
gonna.
weren't really chocolate.
No, but the coloured ones, they were just pure numbers
Shugs.
and sugar.
Yeah.
They were my favourite. So head on over to Patreon for that exciting recipe. And if you're not a member, why the bloody hell not? Sign up! Sign up!
We did that in unison. Yes, it's for the price of a cup of tea or a packet of chewing gum, as Michelle likes to say. You can become a member, part of a community even. It's like, I get emails from my neighbourhood watch group. That's a bit boring. But Patreon's not for us. Eavesdroppin, Patreon/eavesdroppin.
That's it.
Is that it?
That is it.
Don't need the wwws anymore. It just goes straight there, according to young people. So yeah, sign up. You'll get a bunch of TV recommendations. And guess what, Michelle?
What?
I didn't have anything to watch recently. My husband and I just finished Fallout. And
Okay.
we were thinking what to watch next, what to watch. He kept trying to tell me about this 1970s Australian science fiction Western starring Chips Rafferty. I'm saying no. No way, Jose. I'm not watching that.
No. What was it?
I don't know. Who cares? I reached into the Patreon and I pulled out The Patient on Disney that you've seen, starring Domhnall Gleeson and that guy that's in a lot of things, the American guy. He's short
Yes,
with
and?
a big nose.
Yes.
I love it.
Well, it did grow on me.
What's that actor's name? The main actor.
Yeah, the guy who was
The
in 40-Year
psychiatrist.
Virgin. Like, he was the 40... Yeah.
Yeah, 40-year-old
Yeah, that
virgin.
guy.
He was in The American Office.
Yes.
Everybody knows who he is. He's a comedy actor, but he's now doing a lot of
Serious
dark stuff.
roles.
Like he was in The Breakfast Morning Wars.
Okay.
What's his name?
Can't remember.
Yeah, I think he's a good actor.
Yes.
Domhnall Gleeson, what an amazing face. I think he's so gorgeous.
I did not think he was gorgeous in that particular series. However, after looking him up, I thought, gorgeous.
He's like a fairy. You know who his dad is and his brother? Like he's the slender, pretty one of the gang. They're all like bears.
Right.
Brendan Gleeson, and I can't remember his brother's name. Another Irish name. I can't remember what it is. He's big in Ireland.
Right, so they're
He's a comedy actor.
they're acting royalty, this family.
Acting royalty in Ireland, yes. I've got makeup artist friends that work with them.
Oh, amazing. Well,
Yeah.
I did delve into the Patreon, into the Telerex myself.
Did you have a little fiddle around in there, did you?
I had a rummage. And I pulled out Small Profits. What an absolute joy.
Everyone's raving about it.
I am not really a Mackenzie Crook fan. I think he's good,
No?
but I was never a fan. I'd never watched The Detectorist. I'm going to have to
No?
give that a go because
God, get back on that. 3 series.
I just found Small Profits to be this beautiful, whimsical, lovely, gentle, kind piece of television. And I haven't felt like that since watching the one where the guy from America coaches the soccer team here.
Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso. Just gentle comedy, nothing cruel, nothing mean. I mean, there were,
A few weird things.
in Small Profits?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what makes it so charming. It was just lovely. I really enjoyed it. Sad when it finished. But it did say to be
It's
continued.
another season. Yeah.
So I'm very excited by that.
You need to watch Detectorists in the meantime. I don't know why you haven't done that.
I just thought, how interesting could it be? They're looking for coins. How interesting could that be?
That's quite small-minded.
That's very rude to say that.
Well, if you think how interesting could that be, that's you cutting something very short without finding out any more about it.
Well, it just didn't appeal to me, so I just moved on. I mean, there's so many things to watch in this world. I thought, most people give things like that 3 seconds before they move on and think, that's not for me. And I guess that's what I did.
You gave it 0.
No.
Because you didn't even watch it.
No, I mean, when you watch a trailer or you hear about it and you read, because I often look up things like best things to watch, and it was always coming up on the lists. But then I'd read the synopsis and go, I don't think that's for me, and find something else.
Fair enough. That's how you choose. But we have to advise our Patreons not to do it that way, because if we say it's on there for a reason.
It's true. And do you know what? Imagine if they did that to us. To this very
Exactly.
podcast, if they thought true crime, real life, that's not for me.
That's not for me. 2 middle-aged women chatting about shit and coming up with nonsense and things that they're passing off as facts. I don't think so.
But here you are. We love our listeners.
I've got some facts, Michelle. I can't tell you exactly where this fact came from. I think it might have been the food program on Radio 4. Did you know that crabs wee out of their face?
What the fuck?
It just grabbed my attention. They wee out of their face.
What, out of their eyes or
Face.
their mouth?
Whole face.
What?
The whole face just pisses.
Oh my God.
I haven't Googled it. Perhaps you would like to.
Okay. So this could be kamikaze dinner party fact. Oh my God.
But actually, I do think it came from a reliable source. It's just that they didn't go into detail biologically.
I'm not sure I want the details. Can you imagine that if we all pissed out of our face?
Well, just think about a crab's face, though. It's very different to ours.
Yes, it's flat.
You don't have a mouth. You don't have a nose. You don't have ears.
You just got those eyes.
Pair of eyes. So where does the piss come out of? I guess through a crack in the shell.
Well, an asshole if they had one. I mean,
no,
they've got...
the face.
Yes, I know, but why not? Were they not created with an asshole?
Right. Yeah, I suppose where is the arse?
If you could give a crab eyes, give them a fucking asshole.
And there's a lot on the underneath, isn't there? There's a lot of connective tissue.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
It would be a lot easier than that hard shell face, than pissing out of that hard shell. That's very interesting. I'm going to have to look that up.
I thought it would be intriguing enough to look up, yes. Although I didn't do it.
I will look that up. I'll pop that on the Patreon. Speaking of Patreon, when I did the links for your episode on the moon landing and space baby, it's a small apologue. It's only a tiny one.
We got something wrong.
But, well, you kept calling them the Batista brothers.
Yes, and they're not called that. That's his middle name.
Well, it is his middle name.
But I couldn't manage the rest.
Oh, okay. I thought you thought his surname.
I gave the caveat at the beginning. No, it's Cordelia, but I just could not say that over and over. So I did apologise at the beginning and say Judicio Cordelia. That's their name. I couldn't manage it. So I just said, let's call them the Batista Bros, because that way I could remember it.
I thought you thought that was part of their surname.
I did mention it at the beginning, and I hoped that everybody got that, but clearly Michelle missed that memo.
Yes, it went over my head.
Yeah, sometimes we get things wrong.
We do.
Sometimes we don't listen.
Yes.
It's just the way it goes. It's life.
I can't listen to everything. I can't take it all in. The brain's only so big.
Oh, you're so busy over there sitting in your robe.
Oh, my
All you have to do is listen and talk.
I know, drinking a cup of tea.
I can't manage it.
It's all too much.
Don't expect me to talk and listen.
No, I remember a friend telling me once with disgust, she said, my mum can only manage one thing a day. I do 15. And I said, what?
Was that not me? Did I tell you that?
No.
I feel like it was me.
Is that... Can you manage only one thing a day?
No, but my mum used to tell me,
oh, really?
You do too many things in a day and you need to pull it back to just one. I was like, what?
Who can only do one? One is ridiculous, but I definitely don't do 15 things in a day anymore. It's definitely dwindling as I get older.
It should do, but it doesn't, because there are so many things to do.
Does having a nap count as one thing? Because that's
a thing.
That's a joy. Yeah. That's an absolute joy.
God, I love a nap. Yeah.
I've really embraced the afternoon nap.
Where'd you get the time, Michelle?
Well, I have to squeeze in about 20 minutes before I then go to work.
Right, yeah, because otherwise you'd flag, wouldn't you?
Oh, yes. And there's only so many green teas you can have before you actually start to get a little jittery.
Yeah.
I find.
No, that's true.
Oh, you ding-a-ling.
Oh, you ding-a-ling. So this week, I was looking about, as you do, on the internet, and I can't even tell you where this popped up. Basically, it was a rabbit hole that I went down looking and looking, and I almost expected to come back with some sort of, I don't know, magical story with lots of very interesting things to talk about. And I did kind of. It's a book. Because I seem to be talking a lot about conspiracy these days, and I'm sorry about that. But that's what I'm being delivered in my internet history and my magazine reading and all of the things.
Your algorithm is serving you.
It's conspiracies left, right and centre. So I'm not 100% sure if this is true, but it's being sold as true.
Okay.
It's a book. And I originally thought it was fan fiction, but actually it was presented as an absolutely true story based on a real experience that somebody had. But when I went back to look on the internet, I found the book 100 times over and a bit of comment, of course, on the Reddits, but I couldn't find anything to back it up.
Okay.
So
shit.
maybe I should have flinged it over to you with your subscription to the dark web, but let me tell you what I know.
I'm intrigued because you've literally said nothing about the topic, so I have no clue what you're going to say here.
I'm leading into it. It is authored by a lady called Helen Littrell and Jean Bilodeau, who is a field investigator for MUFON in California.
Ooh.
And this book is called Raechel's Eyes. It's spelled Raechel, Raechel's Eyes.
Oh my God. Is this something to do with the Raelians?
No. Wait there. I'll tell you. The book claims to be, like I said, a true story, and it's about a blind college student called Marissa Littrell. So Helen, the author, co-author, is her mother. She starts by telling the story that Marissa, her daughter, was at college, and she's got poor eyesight because of diabetes. So she wasn't born blind, and she has differing kind of levels of blindness. But she needed a roommate who might help her with a few basic things around the place. So they had a meeting at the college, and one day this woman came in with her father, who was this tall military man called Harry, and the young woman who came in was kind of odd, and her name was Raechel. And Raechel, turns out, had no kind of past history or no records on her, and no family apart from this guy Harry who brought her in and called her his daughter. The way she spoke was just weird. She would sound weirdly monotone, maybe slightly robotic voice, I don't know. And her eyes were always covered over, or often covered over, with these wraparound glasses, sunglasses, so you couldn't really see her eyes.
Like Bono.
Yeah. Hasn't he got something wrong with his eyes, though? That's why he has to wear yellow tint.
I don't know. I just thought he was a dickhead.
He thinks he's fancy.
He does think he's fancy.
Back to Raechel, though. After a while, it became apparent that she wasn't of this world, and bit by bit, information dripped out that Raechel is supposedly part of a long-running alien-human hybrid program/experiment.
Okay.
And I listened to a podcast where two men who talk about this all the time, this kind of stuff, were wrapping it out. And I'll give you the links later on. But according to this narrative, this is what's believed in some conspiracy circles, and perhaps it's true, who knows? I couldn't find the info. Aliens have been here for years. There's an agreement with the world governments that they're allowed a quota of humans and cattle to experiment on. However, the tall greys continually exceed it.
Oh, those bastards. They don't give a shit.
They're going off page. Yeah.
They do what they want.
They don't give a shit. They're loving it. And I believe it's because they have evolved so far, these particular aliens who have made contact and have been in contact forever. They can no longer reproduce. So that's why they need to make this alien hybrid race to carry on their genes.
The family name.
The family name, exactly. Mr. Tall Grey, Mr. Short Grey, Mr. Lizard. I don't know what you've got. Mr. Puff of Air. I don't think they exist, really. That's what I think an alien looks like. Okay, we're going to stick with this story just for fun, okay? Dinner party kamikaze, 100%. Like I said, I heard it on a podcast. It was episode 103 of Our Strange Skies, and it featured a guy called Sam Fredrickson. I think he was the guest, not the host, and it covers historical UFO cases. And I listened to this on my dog walk and found myself wondering, why haven't we heard of this before?
Yeah.
I flicked through the Chambers Dictionary of the Unexplained, still none the wiser. So outside of UFO circles and MUFON-style reporting, there is very little verifiable evidence that Raechel's eyes is based on independently corroborated documentation. And MUFON, aka Mutual UFO Network, which I don't know if still exists or not, we do talk about them a lot in other UFO stories. They do collect reports, but the reports aren't proof. They're just accounts.
That's true.
You know, there's never the photos. There's never the hard evidence.
Oh, there's sometimes photos, but I think in my New Year's roundup, I had a few stories from MUFON, which it really is. It's just people writing in saying, this happened to me.
Yeah.
I mean, they could be high on fucking crack and writing that, and no one would.
Or having some sort of episode.
Exactly.
Or fan fiction, doing it for fun.
Who knows?
Fucking people up.
Yeah.
So let me start with what I learned. The story kind of begins with a supposed UFO crash. And I say supposed because, you know, obviously no proof. A UFO crashed in the Nevada desert 1956. Harry, they talk about him a lot more on the podcast. Harry was an air crash investigator in the UFO department, and he was chosen for his ability to communicate via telepathy.
Okay.
Oh, I know what he'd be good for.
Telepathy.
Put him in the UFO department. Yeah. So he turned up at this crash and found all these bodies everywhere. I suppose he'd been to a few of these alien crash sites in his role in the UFO crash department.
Well, they have a department, so I imagine this happened more than once.
Apparently, Michelle.
Yeah, apparently.
He turned up and he found all these dead bodies, and he found one tiny survivor who looked a little different to normal. She wasn't fully human. He described her as a hybrid. That's Raechel, right? And he raised her. He befriended her. He was given the job, actually, of raising her inside a secret underground facility in Nevada, of which there are many, by the way. Think Men in Black, the film franchise. Basically, they're saying that that is an indication of what is really going on. So this underground facility, lots of different alien races, all working hand in hand with the US military. Why has it got to be US? Why can't it be the USSR or Russia as it's known now? Why can't it be China? Why can't it be Australia? Why can't it be Finland?
Because it's always bloody the US. Okay, so if we break this down, aliens are rootin' humans.
Yeah.
Who's having these babies?
The women.
Do you know what I mean?
Human women, I suppose. Yeah.
Or are human males rooting alien ladies?
But they can't reproduce.
And, I mean, how is it going?
Yeah, that's the thing.
They can't reproduce.
So how are they rooting? Anyone. How are they doing it with anyone?
How are they rooting and tooting? And
look, we've picked a bunch of holes in it already.
Oh, already. But also, too, these women.
So if they can't reproduce, what makes them able to reproduce with humans? Well, I guess they've been experimenting.
And if a crab can piss out of its face,
yes,
is the alien coming out of the belly button? Maybe it's not a normal gestation period. Is it coming out of an ear? I don't know.
I'm so glad I led with the crab story. Because it gives this story a lot more gravitas, doesn't it? Answers a lot of questions.
Does it? Yes.
It really does.
Of course it does.
All right, let's go back to this story. Harry, like I said, he's raising Raechel as part of a sanctioned experiment, reportedly authorized at high levels, to see whether a human-alien hybrid could successfully integrate into everyday American life. Because, like I said, they couldn't reproduce, and there's a lot of questions about that. Maybe they're test tube. Maybe they're, I don't know. That's why they need to keep practicing and experimenting.
Yes, that's right. They might be doing egg extraction.
Yes.
That makes more sense than a root and a toot.
And maybe some sort of DNA embedded sperm. I have no idea, from another human. Fast forward to the early 70s. We've got Raechel now adopted. She's given a civilian identity, enrolled in this Californian college, community college, where she meets her roommate, Marissa. As I previously said, Raechel was a bit odd to look at. She was petite, kind of frail. She wore these wraparound sunglasses like Bono, always had a scarf wrapped around her head. And the boys on the podcast said she always wore workwear style overalls.
Cool. Love that look.
She always had long sleeves to conceal her skin. So it must have been an unusual looking coloured skin or textured skin. She had to cover it up. And not only did she sound strange when she spoke, But she also had her food delivered by men in black suits. Remember, this is all before Uber Eats, Michelle.
Yes, okay. MIB, delivery.
Exactly. And apparently Marissa used to say, oh, what's the food? I'd like to try it. She said, well, you can try it if you want, but you won't like it.
Because, like Pluribus, it's humans.
Oh, it might be humans.
Ground up.
You just gave away another plot twist. No other delivery kind of existed at the time. So having people in black suits arriving at your doorstep to bring you some sort of weird plankton is unusual in itself. Yeah. So according to the author and Marissa's mum, Helen, there were some unsettling events that followed. So Raechel's differences in her appearance and everything started to become really hard to disguise. And ultimately, this social experiment or whatever it was, it failed. Raechel then left and was never seen again. And all of this information comes from Helen's memories and also from the information she says was later provided to her by Harry, the Air Force officer dad.
But what about Marissa?
Well, Marissa, the only person who was said to have really ever communicated or connected with Raechel, she died in 1990, unfortunately, due to complications from diabetes. But it was reported that before Raechel left, she allegedly gave Marissa a special gift.
Okay. The gift of sight? What did she do? Have healing hands?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Are you joking?
You got it.
Oh my God.
So she gave her the gift of sight, but unfortunately, like I said, she died in 1990. Why she couldn't have written a story before then, I don't know. There were some other funny things in this podcast as well, such as sometimes Raechel would help Marissa get dressed in the morning and she would always end up looking absolutely bizarre as a result. Just little things, little fun snippets and facts.
Pop that shoe on your head.
That might look good on your hands.
Yes.
So if this is indeed true, I have got so many questions. And of course, I can't find anything more than, like I said, a few Reddit threads, the descriptions of the book. But Raechel comes off not as threatening, but as vulnerable. Basically, she was set up to fail in this society that she was never equipped to fully navigate.
Yeah.
It's really sad. And what's fascinating is that there is a narrative from believers that affirms hybridization programs that has evolved over decades.
Is this all on Reddit as well?
Probably.
Yes.
Early attempts at hybridization, if true, like Raechel, were supposedly imperfect, but biologically functional and just visibly off, too pale, too fragile, too odd, not human enough. It was like TV before flat screens. This is making me think a little bit about more conspiracies that I'm seeing on the internet at the moment about cloning. There's people talking about cloning all the time. What is with that? Did you see Jim Carrey at the Césars?
No.
Where he made his speech in French. He's had something done.
Oh, as in work?
You remember I always thought he was attractive. I no longer do as of now. And I thought he was aging beautifully. But I think he's done his teeth. And they're too big for his face. You know when Boy George did that?
Yes, when they get veneers and it's terrifying.
Yeah, changes your face.
And apparently they only get the veneers like the first few at the front.
The rest are all black and manky.
What was he thinking? Because Jim Carrey, as you said, was aging beautifully. He always had that big, goofy, large-toothed smile. So what's he doing that for? I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, do. Because they're saying it was there's a drag queen called Alexis, I think it's Alexis Wilde, I'm not sure, who is famous for putting on a latex mask and impersonating people. But that's not true either. They're saying that Jim Carrey's eyes have changed colour and his whole face looks different and he's been replaced. Because in the past he has been on record saying, if you ever see me with plastic surgery, I've died.
And oh my God, he's unrecognizable.
We may have stumbled onto another hybrid.
What's happened to his face? Jim Carrey's team dismissed speculation about his César Awards appearance. What's the speculation?
That he's a clone or that he's a drag queen dressed up with a latex face on a mask. Isn't it weird? Is he another hybrid experiment?
Well, that's the thing. It says here they question whether he'd sent some class of impersonator to attend the ceremony for him. And they say Alexis Stone.
Because he did the whole thing in French, but apparently he's been planning it for ages.
He looks weird. Oh my God. Very strange. Okay, maybe he's been jumped.
Cloned. Well, it's a bit like AI now. It's still in its clunky days. In 20 years' time, will it be to the point where you cannot tell if that cat video is real or fake.
Jen finds it hard. So many of my friends are forwarding things going, oh my God, look at this. And it's like AI. She's like, what? She has no clue. I think the AI is getting scarily good.
So if the AI is getting good, what about the alien hybrids? I mean, another thing I saw on the internet, and that's what they're all talking about, is a meme of Miley Cyrus with her tongue out, and some people who believe this hybrid story say that she's glitching.
What?
She's just pulling a face.
Okay.
To me, she's just pulling a face. But they use it, they slow it down, they put a circle around it on the internet, and they show you as this is proof that she is glitching. This is like, do you remember at Heat magazine you used to do pictures of people with cellulite and a great big circle around it? But now they're putting circles around people whose alien masks are slipping and they're showing their true selves underneath. It's just absolutely bizarre. That Raechel's Eyes isn't just a story about aliens. It's about otherness and assimilation. And I kind of feel like maybe it was a story written about her blind daughter who didn't ever really fit in. But this other aspect came into it. She did team up with a MUFON researcher to write the story. So maybe there is an element of otherworldness and alien. I can't get my head around it. You know, obviously, poor Marissa, she was fundamentally different in her world.
Well, and then she could see.
And then she's teaming up with Raechel, but then she could see in the end, apparently.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like getting bullied at school and then discovering that there's a reason for it. I just don't know. But there is no verified evidence supporting the existence of such a program. And let's face it, why would there be? If it's so secret, they'd have to keep it secret.
And it's probably not in any of the declassified files because somebody would have found it. People have been going through that with a fine-tooth comb. But interesting that poor old Marissa is dead, so she hasn't got a voice in this story. It reminds me of the Stephen King story that I had mentioned where the skin was, the jeans were painted on.
Oh,
Do you remember?
Oh, I hate that. When there was a crash, wasn't there?
Yes. It sounds to me like a fanciful story, but quite a nice one.
Yeah. What happened last night? Was it a visit from an alien? There was an anal probe. Did he take me away in his super ship? What an alien. What an alien.
Over 90 of the top 100 U.S. accounting firms trust Bill to handle bill pay processes. Why? Because our tools are built on over $1 trillion of secure payments. We're not just moving money. We're powering financial workflows for 500,000 customers. That's a level of expertise you just can't fake. Ready to talk with an expert? Visit Bill.com/proven to get started and grab a $250 gift card as a thank you. Terms and conditions apply. See offer page for details.
On a completely different tangent, it just reminded me, you were talking about Marissa being blind. Have you seen on the TikToks recently, the big thing is to take dark showers?
No.
Have you heard about this?
No. Oh, a shower in the dark.
Yes, and people are saying it's amazing. So I did it last night. I said to Andreas, listen, I'm taking a shower, but I'm going to try this TikTok trend and I'm going to turn the lights off.
Okay.
So I shut the door. So it was kind of like a black box. I ran the shower first.
I would have done that first, yeah.
And kept the door open.
So you don't walk into it.
Yes, and then turned the light off. And at first it was like, oh my God, like it's quite shocking.
What happened?
Well, it's very relaxing. It kind of felt like a spa experience. Like it was.
Wow.
It was quite nice. And I found, I don't know if this happens to everyone, I was just yawning like crazy.
Yawning? In the shower?
Yawning in the shower. I felt so relaxed.
Wow.
And I was just yawning. It triggered some kind of yawn reaction.
Well, water does that for people, you know, but usually it's cold water. Like in my practice, I often tell people when they're finding themselves dysregulated to splash cold water, if you can, on your face, if not, on your wrists, or grab a cold bottle of water, roll it over yourself. I'm going to use the dark shower. I better try it first in case it's a bit, you know, it might be triggering for some. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's maybe back to the womb or something. I don't know. But this combination of sensory deprivation in terms of visuals, although your eyes do adjust. I was in the shower for quite some time. You're in this dark space. There's just warm water. It just felt like a lovely spa experience to me. And I thought, I'm going to do this next time and maybe have a little scented candle, but without too much light. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Or just throw some essential oil on the floor of the shower. When the heat comes on it, that's when all the fumes come up.
That's a very nice idea. I don't know that I would do it for every shower. It felt like a treat.
No, you ruin it.
Yes.
Too much too soon. So going back to Raechel's Eyes, the book, all we have really is this personal testimony from Helen Littrell, the book written by her mother, claims of these hybridization programs, which I suppose she says she got through Harry, all these government quotas and whatnot. But what we don't have is physical evidence, any documentation of her existing, and no pictures, nothing. I'm sure if you went back
Just
to
one
this
lady's story.
random community college in Northern California, you wouldn't find any records at all. And confirmed official records, there's none of alien human agreements yet.
Well, I want to find Harry because Harry could shed some light on this story. Harry, if you're listening, get in touch.
Harry, I don't know where Harry is or where he's at. I couldn't catch his last name anywhere, but I think it is on the podcast.
Right. Okay. I'll do some digging.
Because it's really hard to dig deep into this particular story, I had to search elsewhere to find something else. So let's go to South Africa, because I do like to travel away from the United States and England when it comes to UFO stories. I just feel like, why is it always there? Why is it always in America? America is not the center of the world, for God's sake.
No.
It is a big country.
Geographically, they could go anywhere.
They could.
These aliens, if they're real, could go anywhere.
So why not South Africa?
Well,
Yeah.
they did. What happened?
Well, let me tell you. Elizabeth Klarer, I don't know if that's how you pronounce her name, Klarer, was born in 1910 in Mui River, again, sorry for the pronunciation, Natal. She studied art and music in Florence, in Italy. She completed a diploma in meteorology at Cambridge, and she worked in RAF intelligence during World War II. This woman is smart. She's legitimate. She's intelligent. And she first alleged seeing alien craft at age 7.
Oh.
She claimed she saw a silver disc and a fiery planetoid going over her family farm, which must have been a big, vast, open sky, I'd say. Later, in 1954, she claimed she made contact with aliens at what became known as Flying Saucer Hill in KwaZulu-Natal.
Never heard of this.
And then in 1956, she said she met a being called Akon, Akon, and he was from Venus. And she described being taken on board a scout ship, which then took her up to the mothership. And this is what she learned. She said that the civilization in Akon's world was named Meton, and it orbited Proxima Centauri, and it had no money, it had unlimited energy. There were no cities, and their homes were scattered all about in park-like settings. It was perfect environmental harmony, basically heaven on earth, or not on earth, heaven on another planet somewhere else.
Yes.
Utopia. Let's call it utopia.
That's a nice word.
But then Elizabeth claimed that she conceived a child with Akon in 1958.
Okay.
And this story, let me point out, this story predates Betty and Barney Hill, which was the most famous of alien encounter stories. She described their union as deeply romantic, so obviously he could manage it.
Woo
with
her.
Humans.
Yeah.
Yeah. The rootin' and tootin', as you call it. Romantic, and it was mystical, and later she claimed she was transported along with her car, a bit like the final scene in Greece, to his planet, where she gave birth to a son named Ayling, Ayling. Ayling. So the time difference between the planets allegedly meant that she spent 9 years there, although only months had passed on Earth. And that would kind of make sense if you think about that film, The Martian, and also that film with Matthew McConaughey. What's that called again?
I don't know.
I can't remember. Where there's a wave that takes a year to kill someone, but when they're there, it just kills them straight away.
Right. Don't know that one. But what if she was away, where did her family and friends think she was for those 2 months?
She's only gone a few months. Oh, I don't know. She didn't say. She didn't say in the Wikipedia page that I got this from.
Holes.
It wasn't in there. She later wrote a book called Beyond the Light Barrier, promoting peace, environmentalism, cosmic consciousness, and the idea that advanced beings were guiding humanity, which is something that we hear quite a lot when we do our investigations into aliens and contact, I guess.
Yes. I mean, I like the first part of the book title, that it's all peace and love and whatever.
Beyond the Light Barrier.
Well, wasn't it peace?
Yeah, peace, environmentalism, cosmic consciousness.
Okay, those things all sound interesting and gentle and positive. It's not aliens are here, War of the Worlds, coming to kill us all and destruction.
Well, which is totally preferable to that, absolutely.
Yeah.
She lectured internationally. She gained press attention, but she was also ridiculed.
Of course.
Apparently, she had photos of Akon's craft, but critics suggested that they resembled a hubcap. And she'd just taken like an odd picture of something in a different kind of light. I don't know.
I want to see a picture of her holding Ayling, gently cradling Ayling in her arms.
I wonder what Ayling looks like. Or did she leave him there?
Well, she must have. She must have left the baby out in, what planet was it?
To be raised on.
God knows.
Meton.
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 I mean, she's just gone and left that baby there, dumped on the doorstep.
Well, maybe he was grown up and then she came back because it was only a couple of months, but it was years.
Yeah.
It was 9 years. So she raised him and then came back without him. Yeah. So ufologist Cynthia Hind believed Klarer was sincere, although possibly she was influenced by dream states or imagination, while most dismissed her completely. But this woman thinks maybe she believes this is true. And that's why she seems so sincere and believes her own story. She doesn't care. Basically, Klarer, she did not give a damn. She was utterly convinced of her narrative of events, no matter how fantastical they sounded. And that brings me now to a Harvard study, which was done in 2003. It was in the Harvard Gazette, and it's real and it's true, and I've got the link and I'll send it to you. It's by William J. Cromie, covering research led by psychologist Richard McNally. Now, McNally didn't believe that alien abductions were real. Join the club, McNally. But he wanted to test something more interesting. Do people who believe they were abducted, this is so interesting to me, Michelle, respond physiologically like people who experienced genuine trauma? Because it would be traumatic if it were true, right? Being abducted, experimented on, all of that jazz.
Well, I mean, I think you can have a physical response to your mental beliefs. Isn't this what they do with elite sport athletes to train them into getting all of the physiological responses of training and winning? They do like a lot of mind stuff. So they believe...
Positive mental attitude.
Well, that they believe that their bodies already run the race and won and this and that. And then they have like a physical response to their mental training is what I've read.
Possibly. Okay. Well, that's, yeah, I've heard that too. But I think what they're saying in this study is they wanted to experiment and see against people who they have studied for trauma responses.
Yeah.
And there's physiological, you know, the body keeps the score. There are physiological responses to trauma. And they wondered if people who claim to have been abducted had the same responses physically.
Yes, I get what you're saying. And I'm saying, why not? It's absolutely possible, I would say. If you can do it for sport and it's not trauma, it's more of a determination mindset, but physical response. If you put trauma as the trigger and you believe it and you have a physical response, I feel like same.
Possibly. Well, let me tell you what they found at Harvard. That's Michelle's results of her experiment.
Yes.
Now I'm going to tell you what Harvard came up with. It's probably very similar. They basically got a bunch of self-identified abductees for the experiment, and many of them described being paralyzed, which is something that we always hear about, right? When we do these stories. Flashing lights, buzzing sounds, seeing non-human figures, sexual or reproductive procedures, and while they were under hypnosis, because that's how the experiment was done, they described elaborate spacecraft scenarios. The researchers recorded, all the while they were recording their heart rates, their sweat responses, their emotional arousal, while participants listened to neutrally voiced recordings of their own abduction accounts. So the hypnosis was what they had done previously to discover more about their own abductions.
Yep.
So they know their story thanks to their hypnosis, right? So then they've recorded their story neutrally, without any emotion.
So was it transcribed and then recorded by them or by someone else?
I think it was probably somebody else, neutrally voiced recordings of their own accounts. So it was somebody else recording it saying, then I was taken to another planet and I had a baby.
Out of my face.
His name is Ayling. Came out of my face, which was really painful at the time. Then I went to sleep and I woke up back in my bed or whatever, you know. So they recorded their heart rates and all that stuff while that was going on. But their physiological responses were as strong and sometimes stronger than those of people recalling documented combat trauma or abuse.
Right.
This is the key point.
Yeah, that it is as real to them.
Exactly.
As people who have documented trauma.
And this is why they are so firm in their beliefs, like Betty and Barney. I mean, I don't really understand how two people can have the same experiences, but perhaps there is that little folie à deux going on a little bit there, or backing each other up and adding, you know, somebody speaks something that you don't have memory of, but that then becomes
your memory,
part of the story because it's in your memory now. Memories are malleable. We have to remember that. And their bodies reacted as if the memory was real. So McNally's conclusion was that not that aliens exist, but emotional belief is powerful. And he and his colleagues pointed to sleep paralysis as a major factor, which is, we've talked about this so many times before, dreaming with your eyes open. You experience, you know, full body paralysis at the time. You can have vivid hallucinations.
Yeah.
You can sense a presence. I've had that. You might have buzzing or vibrating sensations within your body or around you. There's perceived levitation.
Yes, we've talked about that too.
I've had that too. Yes. And shadow figures. All of this is what we hear when we hear about alien encounters. And in many cultures, the phenomenon of sleep paralysis has different interpretations or explanations. For example, in Newfoundland, they call it the old hag. In Europe, as we know very well, they call it an incubus or a succubus, and we've seen all those paintings. In religious contexts, it's demons. And now in our modern times, our modern lens casts it as what now?
Aliens. I genuinely believe that people, if you believe something enough, you will have a response.
That confirmation bias.
You respond as if it really happened. And then everything is physically, you know, whether you've got the heavy breathing, the altered breathing, or whatever it is, you're responding physically to what you believe happened. So I think it's just as real and powerful as something that actually happened. And that's actually terrifying in many ways.
Isn't it? Because you must be so terrified when you're experiencing these sleep paralysis experiences.
But also that you can convince yourself so wholeheartedly that something happened to you, which perhaps didn't. That also is really frightening.
Isn't it?
That the mind is so fucking powerful that you can convince yourself of anything.
It's important to note that the abductees were not psychotic or mentally ill. They had full checks on all of that. But many did have rich fantasy lives and strong interests in New Age practices. And I don't know whether that came about before or after their experiences, because if you think about Elizabeth Klarer, she had gone that way, hadn't she? And whether that was after her experiences, I don't know. But they would believe in things like reincarnation and astral projection, telepathy, or energy healing. And crucially, many ultimately described their experiences as spiritually transformative, much like my South African girl.
Right.
Even if it was terrifying at first.
Yeah, good for them. Like if they're receiving positive benefit from it, great. There's a big chunk of the world who does believe in energy healing and spirituality and astral travel. And, you know, I'm definitely open-minded to all of those things. So I think maybe there are some people who are more susceptible to the idea of certain things.
Yeah.
And alien abduction.
Yeah.
But, you know, where are the receipts?
The receipts, exactly.
If Clara really did give birth, is she all mangled up inside?
Oh.
Could a doctor go in and say, oh, yeah, something was gestating in here, in your womb.
Well,
but maybe it's not in the womb. Maybe
it came out the thigh.
Who fucking knows? Out the asshole. But it's a very interesting idea.
Well, like you said, receipts, that's the thing. We don't have any kind of physically verified alien artifacts. Not in these stories.
No.
But actually, I do remember one or two in the past on this very podcast from you.
Yeah.
Yes, you've talked about all sorts of little
There was like
bits
the
and bobs.
triangular
Yes.
bits that were found in the sand and all that kind of stuff.
And passed down from father to son. And
Yeah, and things that people stole from alien crash sites. So there is stuff, but if it was real, even if they wanted to blow the lid wide open, if there were people trying to keep a lid on this, because as you have said in the past,
they keep it tight.
Yeah, as you have said, governments don't want mass hysteria. They don't want people freaking the fuck out. They keep a tight lid on these things. Real, not real, fake, who knows? I don't know. But all food for thought.
Food for thought, yes. I mean, the government documents containing these quotas, where are they? Why wouldn't someone blab? I can't imagine someone like Donald Trump keeping his mouth shut on, although he is pretty good at keeping his mouth shut about certain things, isn't he? And then, of course, I've thought about the astrophysical plausibility of Venetian humanoids.
Yes.
When you take into account the surface temperature is 460 degrees Celsius, Michelle. So how did Elizabeth Klarer manage for 9 years living there? Maybe she was underground. I don't know. But her case is historically documented as a UFO contact narrative.
Okay.
And her biography, her education, all her public talks, they're all verifiable. But her claims remain unsubstantiated. And as for Raechel's eyes... Well, that exists as a published account. MUFON exists as a reporting body.
Yeah.
But reports, like I said, they're just testimony. They're not confirmation.
Of course.
The Harvard research that I've cited today, that confirms something psychologically significant, that belief can create trauma-level physiological responses. And that just complicates the whole conversation, because now you've got zero proof, because if you believe it, you can feel it, all of that stuff that we just talked about.
Yeah.
But dismissing people outright ignores the emotional weight of their experiences. And then you have trauma responses.
Yeah.
Even more, you know? How can we accept these stories as fact without the evidence?
I don't think you have to. I think you can just hear it, accept that it's real for them, pop it away as, let's see. Maybe some evidence in the future will or won't confirm this story.
Yeah.
I feel like it's an open-ended thing.
It is an open-ended thing. But if you think about it, right, sleep paralysis in the Middle Ages, you might say, if we were there now, you might say, oh, a demon sat on my chest. But if you had it in 1956, you might say, oh, Akon from Venus came down and chose me as his soulmate. Or if you experienced it in 1995, you might say, the Greys came and took your DNA.
Yes.
But this idea that world governments have negotiated alien abduction quotas, I mean, that shocked me when I heard that, even though it's probably fabricated. It appears in many conspiracy narratives, especially from the 80s to the 90s and all that UFO stuff out there. Obviously, no verified documentations.
Obviously, I've talked about this. That's the heyday of V. That terrible TV series, putting all those ideas into people.
Just love V, don't you?
Well, it was just shocking at the time, but
yes,
absolute junk. But, you know, these things stir up people's ideas and imaginations. So maybe, yeah, she got carried away. Maybe she wanted to have, you know, a baby out her face with the lead character of V, who was an alien, and somehow it all got mixed up.
Was he hot?
I don't think so. I don't think there was a hot alien on V. Do you know what? I'll go back and have a look, and I'll pop some bids over on the Patreon.
Yeah, do that. I've been getting some really weird videos on Instagram, by the way.
Oh, like what?
I've sent some to you.
Okay.
They're all they must be AI. It looks like they're all from science fiction films from the 40s and 50s.
Okay.
Like black and white. And suddenly they're holding this bizarre baby.
Right.
I have sent them to you. Have a look.
I'll have a look.
Maybe you can pop some up.
I mean, I will. Because AI can do anything. I mean, my friend put a photo of her into ChatGPT or something and said, do a video of me as a backup dancer in Taylor Swift's band. And she got it.
My God.
You know, like you can do anything. I feel like AI is amazing and terrifying. And we're still in AI infancy. They're still like, you know, in the terrible twos. We will see what happens. But thank you so much for that roundup of interesting ideas?
It was just a little dig amongst
little
it.
dig.
Just a few bits of things that made me intrigued, but then, of course, so many questions and nothing to be proven as a result of it, apart from the Harvard experiment.
Yes, of course.
Which still gives no answers, really,
No,
to
it's just
the claims.
No, I think it's just backing up studies that have happened before about the connection between brain and body and responses to the mental training and whatnot. And if you have trauma, real or imagined, it can feel very real to you in your body. But amazing stuff. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for listening to all of you little eavesdroppaloppers out there. I hope we kept you for the episode. It was a little bit meandery.
And if any of you actually do end up doing a dark shower, do write in. Let me know what you think.
Yes. And if any of you have had sex with an alien, please do write in. We'd love to know what it was like and if it was true.
We want all those details and how you gave birth to that baby.
Tell us.
And in the meantime, Geordie, I think really there's only 3 things left to say at this point.
Wherever you are.
Whatever you do, just keep
eavesdropping.
Eavesdropping. Eavesdropping. Dropping. Eavesdropping. Dropping. Eavesdropping. Eavesdropping.
Dropping, dropping.
Eavesdropping. Eavesdropping all day long. Eavesdropping. This is a song. Drop it like it's hot.
Over 90 of the top 100 U.S. accounting firms trust Bill to handle bill pay processes. Why? Because our tools are built on over $1 trillion of secure payments. We're not just moving money. We're powering financial workflows for 500,000 customers. That's a level of expertise you just can't fake. Ready to talk with an expert? Visit Bill.com/proven to get started and grab a $250 gift card as a thank you. Terms and conditions apply. See offer page for details.